If you've got a comment or a question for us, here's where to write. soloparenting@cynthiamacgregor.com. Our Parent Talk panelists this week are Claudia Bennis, Jodi Goldberg, and Sean Kelley. Panelists, your question is this. Suppose you're a solo parent with one child, you'd like a second child, and your child would like a brother or sister, but at the moment you don't have a husband. What do you do about it? And if you decide to just sit tight, how do you explain this to your child? Panelists?
I would sit the child down and explain a few things. What we both want, that they're the same thing, that I wouldn't want the child to be a single child, and but the situation is that there is not a husband around, or a boyfriend, or whatever. Certain different people have different wants in that, as far as getting married, for having children, and sometimes we don't always get what we want. So I think I might at first handle it that way, and then if a person came into the picture, talk about maybe what could be future. But I think dealing with the day, and not thinking only about what's going to happen in the future, because we never really know what's going to happen in the future.
That situation actually happened to me, and here I am as a father with a 13-year-old daughter, but the situation came up obviously earlier, and she was looking for a play friend, I guess. So, you sit, it's actually age specific too, and how you address it. But you're right, based on today's situations, you really have to sit down and ask them first the difference as to what brought that up. So the word need and want are two different things.
True.
Right, and then it's also, again, like you said, why the child wants this person in their life, and understand and explain to the child that they'd have to share.
That's a good point.
Good point.
It's to share mommy. You have to share your toys. You share your friends. Everything's going to be shared. So, in their mind, it's a playmate. It's a doll that you could put back on the shelf.
Correct.
But it's an actual person that's going to be taking up
Permanent.
mommy's time,
Right.
and anyone else's time around them, and the attention, the spotlight's going to be taken away from them. So that becomes an issue as well. I mean, not to scare the child,
No.
but to have them understand this is what's also involved.
The pros and the cons.
Of course.
I think that's really good to explain that. Then, the fairy tale, I think children are always thinking of the fairy tale. And to bring them back to reality, well, yes, it's going to be great, and we're going to have somebody else to love,
Right.
but there's going to be sleepless nights, and, to really give what the reality of that choice, that decision is.
The example I gave was the time that we were watching a sibling, a relative, baby, and I said to her, now you knew what it took just for the weekend to monitor our other significant friend that's here, and you became the babysitter. And I asked, I said, how did you feel? Oh, that was hard work. Exactly. And those are the kind of things and the word responsibility. And so you start bringing that to the table as to these are the things to look into, other than how exciting it could be. Right? It's a responsibility.
Absolutely.
Well, also, if they have a pet, like a pet dog, the responsibility there.
You could start with that.
Well, yeah, if that's what you
Exactly.
want, the responsibility, and then decide whether you want the kid later. I think it's either the kid or the dog. But at this point, a little dog, a little puppy, a dog is a child in essence, and it has to be taken care of and washed and bathed and fed and around at all times.
I'm laughing because that's exactly what I did in the
Right.
substitute of that. And of course,
Right.
she decided to dress up the dog.
Okay.
And so then you know how that goes. So there's the
All right.
there's the option. And it was a good option.
Well, there you go.
So you're right, perfect example and a good answer to give. It's like, okay, we'll get a little puppy and see how you like that. It worked.
But trust me, after the puppy, you're not going to want another kid. That'd be the end of that.
That was a good one. though.
Conversation
Yep,
over.
Yep. Good way to solve that particular, hey, I need or I want this.
Absolutely.
Got an answer? Go walk the dog.
If you've got a comment or a question for us, here's where to write: soloparenting@cynthiamacgregor.com.